Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky here today and we are going to be talking about the most atmospheric fragrances of the year, and I'll be putting them basically in order of least to most. And it doesn't mean that I love the scent more if it's at the lower end. It's just this is about atmospheric. This is the one. These are the fragrances that basically took me somewhere else. I can envision myself in these places, or I'm a very creative, artistic person. So I tend to think in feels and atmospheres. And all perfumes do that to a degree with me. They really do. But these are the ones that just really, really stood out for whatever reason. I was thinking about them long after I used them, and so that's kind of what I'm going off of. Also, these are only going to be fragrances that were used in the year 2025. So only anything that I've used on this channel that you can watch videos about, so you don't feel robbed. You can see the whole video about them. So there you go. But so these are for 2025, and it does not mean that they're all new fragrances. This is the new one, just in general what I tried. So disclaimer, I don't want people going, but those are old. They sure are. Some of them are and some of them aren't. But yes, so we're going to go in order, the atmosphere and where it takes me. So the first one is actually something that somebody suggested on this channel because they wanted to know if this one was similar to a new thing that the mantis from Zoologist, that one, if it was similar. And I love getting suggestions, and other people have told me their favorite fragrances in the comments, and I'm going to be trying some of those. I'm going to be ordering them, in small little bottles like this, and we're going to give them a try because, I love that. I love that. Let's do this together. So there you go. But this one is called Synthetic Jungle. And I won't call out people's names because they didn't choose to be put on YouTube. So there you go. If you want to chime up, you can. But this one was very interesting to me. It basically was to take synthetic notes and create this beautiful jungle scenery. And it really did capture that. It really did, and kind of took me by surprise how much I liked this one. Oh, that's good. I'm not even necessarily big into huge green scents. That's just not. Maybe I'll get more into it as my taste change a little bit. But what I like about this is you can definitely get that beautiful greenery. It really does smell like you're in a jungle. Just being surrounded by these big leafy vegetation and things hanging from the trees. You can almost smell, there's that sweetness, but that greenery, and you can almost get a little touch of that humidity to it that you get in the jungle. That's why they all grow so beautifully. This one is a trip. I love this one. It's still on my list to buy. I love it that much. I don't know if it's so good though. You can smell those florals. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that green and floral. I don't know how much I would wear it per se. I think I would though. I do. This one's just so cool. This one is so beautiful, so cool. It just drops me in the middle of the jungle, but in the end I'm going to get out okay. Nothing's going to attack me and kill me. So there you go. Jungles can be quite dangerous. I've been into them a little, but not enough where I'm going to be lost forever. There you go. And be eaten by a piranha or something. So there you go. But this one was such a cool suggestion. So thank you to the person who suggested that, because that was a lot of fun. Now, the second one, which comes in at number 6, is one that I just tried, and that is from Aesop, and that is Quill. So this one is atmospheric in that it takes me back to my childhood in so many ways, and that's why a lot of these are on the list, because I really do believe that fragrances evoke memories and sparks that in us, and sometimes it'll make us happy or sometimes it won't. We can be very reactionary because scent is very powerful. So this one is Quill, and this one smells like the woods to me, like wood burning, like a wood burning stove, or it could be woods, like my grandparents, they would burn wood in fire pits, and you could do that certain times of the year to get rid of things like vegetation and things. And this smells like that. Also, where I was raised, that happened a lot during the fall. Going into early winter, you could burn things outside when it was designated, because I lived kind of in the boonies for a bit when I was a kid. And so you would smell this. And so this just takes me to that time. I can really see myself in a sleeping bag under the wood burning stove at home, because that was the heat that we used. Didn't have a lot of money as a kid. And so I would try to get whatever warmth I could from the embers, and it was not working. But you would smell this wood and hear the popping, or being at my grandparents' house and they're burning things, and you could smell this burning kind of wood. And what's nice about it is the brightness of the bergamot just cuts through it and just adds a little bit of zest of excitement. And maybe that was the excitement that I felt during those days. You know, you never knew when you were on the farm what adventures would happen. Usually it wasn't great. It was field work. So get to work. But this farm life, you know, and I was a horrible farmer. That's a whole different video. But yes, this one definitely takes me back to that time. And I'm glad to have experienced it. But I think those farming days are over, along with the logging. So in the number 5, yes, in the number 5 spot is Hazy Blue from Aloria, which I love this one so much. This one, look at this. You can see how much I've gone through it. I don't tend to wear it this time of year. It's more of a spring, late spring, summer scent for me. And I try sneaking in maybe a little bit in fall. I love this one so much. I love this one. I love this one. So this one is very atmospheric. It has beautiful florals, but it has an atmospheric note or a chord to it. So it feels like you're in florals, but it's almost like a beautiful spring day, okay? Where it's like cherry blossom season. There is no cherry blossom in this, but there's the florals of spring, and then a beautiful warm breeze just flies through the air, and the petals go flying on the wind, and you just feel wrapped up in it as it surrounds you in that beautiful wind hug. I love that. In winter, it's horrible. I love wind, but in winter, I'm like, ugh. It's just so bad. At least where I live, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I love the wind, but I like warmer wind. It's just, it could be, it's kind of like being in Chicago or Boston or New York. It's that whole, if you get hit by the wind, it's just going straight down to your lungs and you're like, ah, you're gasping. This is a happy wind, a floral, warm wind hug. But I feel like I'm one of those petals or a balloon floating in that wind and just bouncing around with it until I lightly land where I need to be safely. And I love that. This is just so comforting. Oh, I love this scent. You know, I think everybody knows I love this scent, and I have a feeling you will see this scent again. But I don't want to give too many spoilers. But yes, so there you go. Definitely Hazy Blue from Aloria. It truly is such a special scent, and I adore this one. I will always have a bottle of this on hand because I adore it. Okay, so the next one is Zoologist. I know, it's like people are like, come on, Zoologist is known for this. When was this going to appear? You know, when? Well, it is now. And this one is Penguin, or Pinguino, as I kept calling it in Spanish. And this one's just fun. I did end up getting a bottle. I haven't worn it yet. I really need to because I really love this one. This one took me on a journey. Especially when you spray it. This is a juniper balm. There's a couple of them I've tried this year, but this one, if you love juniper, you will love this one. The other one is Karst that I tried this year. I have it here for another video, which is Aesop. Two very different fragrances. This one didn't quite make it, and there's a reason why. Because this one is peppery juniper, but this one has an Arctic accord or ice accord. So basically, you get this blast of the Arctic or the blast of cold wind and ice. I love that ice accord. That ice accord just makes this so special. Oh, it is so good. As I said in the initial video, this actually transported me back to Iceland. If you've been there and you've been to Jökulsárlón, it's on the ring. It's this place where basically the glacier breaks apart and then parts of the glacier bob around in the water next to where the big glacier is. And you can go into boats and touch the icebergs. They're a little tiny. They're not, well, not, some of them aren't that tiny, but you know, they're smaller. You're in no danger. And you can touch the ice. You can actually taste it. They will let you. It's very interesting, and you can see the seals. Oh, it's so cool. It was one of the coolest experiences in my travels. I think I've been to 27 countries thus far. I really love travel, languages, different cultures, food. What a beautiful world we live in. And so this was just so special because you get that dirtiness with it. So you get that beautiful juniper, but you also get a little peppery with it. But which is close to karst, but what makes it different is that blast of ice. The ice accord just comes out. And with it, there's also a little bit of dirtiness to it in a good way. Not like a body odor issue, but like a little bit of dirt, like ground. And I love that because if you've seen these icebergs, if you've seen Jökulsárlón or things similar to it, they'll flip and there'll be dirt on the bottom. So you get that earthiness with it. And this just captures that so well. So I just feel like I'm back on that boat in Jökulsárlón. And it's just such a special memory. And this just totally evokes that atmosphere and that excitement of that trip because it really is one of the most beautiful countries that I've ever visited. And the scenery is just so magnificent that if you ever get a chance to go, if you drive, please drive, and you know, during a good time of year because it can be a little bit treacherous. Iceland is no joke. So it was beautiful when we went, but take the car, enjoy the ride, get out and enjoy the land, and go see Jökulsárlón because this totally reminded me of that. Okay, so the next one that really transported me was Clue Perfumery, and this one is Warm Bulb. Yes, this one I've worn a couple times this year in the fall. And it's such a strange little scent. I think people were confused. And it confused my brain as well. Because this one is very much a warm vanilla scent. Or not warm, a vanilla scent. Yeah, warm vanilla scent. It has that warmth to it. There's brighter or more gourmand. This one's more of a deeper, warmer scent. And it's just... It's like, how can you make vanilla... I love vanilla scents. They're some of my favorite. But how can you make them unique? They've just been so overdone. Vanilla is fantastic. It's very safe. People love it. What makes this different is the electrical charge. You can smell the electrical charge in this. So it's almost like you have a light on, a light bulb on, and then this is how I thought about it. It transports me to a library or like an attic room with books and an old lamp. I used to read a lot as a kid. It was this fantastic journey and escape for me of just beautiful worlds that I wanted to be part of. I absolutely adored reading. And so this reminds me of that sneaking the books, reading them, being at my grandparents' house in the attic, sneaking those books and enjoying them, or going to the library. Though the library doesn't take me there as much, but the smell of like books and like having that lamp in a dusty attic, and then you drop a vanilla on it just to make the scent burn off the bulb. I used to do that as a kid, put a little oil on the bulb in my room and it would just fill it with beautiful smell briefly. That's what this reminds me of. I just felt like so grown up. I couldn't have candles, and so I'd save up my money and buy perfume oils and just drop them on the lamp and read, and it was so good. Make sure it burns off completely. Don't get in trouble. I didn't. They didn't know I was doing it. So there you go. Just one drop, that's it. Or put it on your finger quickly and like that. It'll burn off. But don't do it too much. Wipe it down. I don't want to get you in trouble. So there you go. Though the bulbs are different. I mean, this is like my grandparents had old bulbs. You know, it wasn't the ones now where it doesn't burn as hot. They were using old school. So there you go. But that electrical charge is so wild. And I wore this year, and I'd smell the vanilla, but that electric charge would come through. And it would just make me laugh because I know people were walking past me and who I knew, and they were probably like, what is up with her? What is this? What is she smelling like? What's burning? It doesn't smell like burning. It smells like an electrical charge. But I know people were probably very confused by me. And that's okay. They usually are anyway, so nothing new. Okay, so this next one is another zoologist scent, and I do not have it on me now. My friend borrowed it, and I'm making the video today. I went, why today? But this one actually you cannot get until 2026. There was only a few released. Caused a little bit of sadness on the internet, and that is Alm, because it was just dropped and only a certain amount of people got them, and a lot of people weren't happy about it. So I'm sure the owner learned a little bit about that. I think he was trying to make people happy and do something fun, and sometimes that doesn't always work out because people get caught in their feels a little bit, and trust me, I do it too, so I'm not judging anyone. I've been known to do that, so there you go. But so this one is Alm, and this one is so unique. I really like this one. You know, zoologist is known for those unique scents, but this one was different. I don't know. To me, some of them can be really bold and sometimes not very wearable, I find. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like Portuguese Man of War is one of those. T-Rex is definitely one of those. They tend to be very bold. This one is actually very light. So, and what I mean is it's a lighter feel to it, but it still has very good projection. So that's what I mean by it. It's not like you can barely smell it and you're like, really? It's not. It definitely lasts. But what I like about this is it captures the environment of a dark cave where the Alms live. And they're blind because they don't need eyes. They're deep caves. You don't need eyeballs. For what? Barely any light gets down there. So over time, they really just didn't have a need for them. So they're very unique little animals. And little creatures in the dark, and I feel like it really captures it. And I've gone into many caves. I love caves. I think caves are just so cool. It's an opening in the earth where you get to see what's going on and what's happened in there for centuries, and it's basically probably the same because the drips are what creates a lot of what you see in there, and that's taken hundreds upon hundreds of years to create. And so you're walking into this geological history, and Alm captures that. When you spray it, there's, for me, other people I've read get a very different feel, but I almost got like a spicy greenery to it. Almost like some kind of algae down there, a different type of algae, but you also get that, and there is the algae scent and a little bit of that water accord. So it definitely is a water scent, with a little bit of that cold algae and dirt, but yet there was a little bit of spiciness to break up that water, almost like a piney scent to me. It's not quite pine, but like that. So a green spiciness. Just, you could almost, when you spray it, feel the wall, touching it, and it's wet, and you're like, ooh, cave wall. It captures it so perfectly. It is one of the most fantastic little scents. I really didn't think it would be wearable. I really didn't. But I got the travel size and I love it. I'm buying a full bottle. As soon as it's released, I am buying a full bottle. I think it is just that phenomenal. How often will I wear it? Maybe not as often as some other ones. Maybe it's more at the home, when I'm at home and I just want something a little bit different. But I can't really see my life without it, if that makes sense. Even if it's not an everyday thing, or maybe it's a couple times a year, it's a scent that I don't want to be without. It's that wonderful, if that makes sense. So Alm is number 2, and it is highly earned because it just took me back into those days where, you know, my family couldn't do a lot, but I remember when we were moving, when I was a kid, my dad ended up taking us to a cave. He was big into science, and we were crawling through this cave, and it was just, I remember that scent, and ever since then I kind of associate that with my dad, and I've been to a few caves since when I travel, and I just take that in, being this small little girl who was a little bit unsure and uneasy because it was a little bit scary, but finding the wonder of it in the end and the magic of it and how crazy beautiful this world is. So big thumbs up to Alm. That one just really took me to a wonderful place. Now, if you really know my channel, and my channel is still exceptionally small, but I have some people that I know have been on here a while, you know, and if you've seen this video, I think this will not be a surprise, This one is another one, Clue Perfumery, and it's Morel Map. This one, I'm not huge into green scents, but this one completely changed my mind. Let me tell you, this one's phenomenal. It just still takes me back. So this one is beautiful. It's a beautiful green scent, but there's beautiful sweetness to it as well. This beautiful, it's just not a green. It has a beautiful sweetness. So not like a gourmand sweetness, but definitely a sweetness to that green. It's not a heavy green. There is a little bit of a bitter, like a bitter boop note in there a little bit, but it doesn't take away. It actually enhances, like it's salt being put on food, just a little dash to give it that. That's what that does. That little bit of bitterness breaks apart the very green of this scent, but the beautiful sweetness. So I'm not talking so much about notes as much as I would in a normal video, so you can go see these if you would like to know more. It's more because this is about atmospheric, where these take me. But definitely a green scent, and definitely fantastic because it took me straight back to my childhood, walking through the forests, because my grandparents owned a farm in the mountains and they had acreage, and we would they would farm, but we would also cut down trees and cord them for wood burning stoves. And this took me back to that. And if you've seen that video, I did possibly get a little bit emotional at the end. So there you go. I know, but it took me back to such a wonderful time, and it's tough. You can't always recapture those moments once they're done. Some things you can kind of capture, some things you can't, because certain players in that memory are no longer with us. And so it's a bittersweet to it. But I love this one because it takes me back to that time. It was a lot of hard work, let me tell you, but everybody's together, the whole family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, like the whole family came together with this goal of creating warmth in winter. And so it was that beautiful, you can smell the dampness with this, walking through the forest with your feet hitting the ground and feeling that dampness coming up and that greenery around you. And that's what I love. You can smell the damp. Let me tell you, Clue Perfumery, they are amazing. I'm always curious to see what they're going to do next, and I like the fact they don't churn everything out so quickly. It is expensive for the amount you get. It was like $140 for the small bottle, but understand it really is a small crew doing this. So I applaud them to making their dreams come true and surviving, putting food on the table, hopefully. But this is my number one as far as atmospheric scents that just took me to a different place. And I won't tear up this time, I promise. So there you go. So that is my number one for the atmospheric scents that just took me somewhere else in my memory. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have several more lists. I'm still kind of putting them together. I know there's going to be a top 10 of the year. I was going to do them all, rank everything, but I went, that's insanity. And then I thought maybe top 20, but I think nobody wants to hear me ramble for a couple hours. So, because I do it enough anyway, so maybe a top 10. But of course, if you have any suggestions of lists that you would like to see in the future, because I plan on doing a 10 days of Christmas or holiday season next year as well. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I would love to hear it. I love hearing what you guys like to see. And with that, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.